On Ticker, this is Import Export with Lawrence Christophels.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Import Export here on tickertv.com.au. As usual, we've got a fantastic lineup of guests for you today to talk about everything international trade, supply chain, logistics. And a lot of today's episode is all around trying to support businesses, SMEs, obviously within the international trade, supply chain sector, with really getting through the coronavirus impact. But we've also been really privileged to have on our show this morning the special trade representative from the Department of Trade and Investment from the Philippines, so Alma Argayoso, and she's actually joined us live straight from her Sydney location. Thanks so much for joining us, Alma. How are you?
Thank you, Lawrence. Good morning. Good morning to all our viewers.
Really appreciate you taking the time to join us. Can I kick off, Alma? Can you explain what DTI is all about and your role there with DTI?
Thank you, Lawrence. First of all, for having me on the show, and I really think that this is a good time to discuss opportunities in the Philippines. And we've been doing this even prior to COVID-19. The Philippine Trade and Investment Center in Sydney is the representative office of the Department of Trade and Industry, responsible for advancing the country's trade, economic, and investment interests. Our office works to connect Philippine companies, traders, exporters, importers, and investors with their counterparts here in Australia, as well as New Zealand and the rest of the Pacific Island countries. Our services include business matching, business advisory and business services, assistance to overseas and local businesses, assistance to high-level business and ministerial delegations. We also organize trade fairs or trade missions and participate in trade policy negotiations, industry development, and capacity building initiatives.
Great. So, Alma, we had up on screen, just while you were talking, some of the big Australian brands that are already dealing with the Philippines, and they've done so for many years, specifically around the business process outsourcing. Obviously, a lot of call center work that goes out there, a lot of IT development. So Australian companies are probably aware of that. But there's one of the other traditional industry sectors and that probably people are less aware of, and one of the emerging sectors that are really starting to evolve between the Philippines and Australia, and other markets for that matter as well.
We are very fortunate that we have this very strong and enduring partnership with Australia. Indeed, there are a lot of companies doing business in the Philippines, Australian companies doing business in the Philippines, particularly in IT business process sourcing. Services trade is an increasingly major component of our Philippines-Australia bilateral trade. There are more than 200 Australian IT business process outsourcing companies in the Philippines, and we are seeing more and more Australian companies invest in non-voice services, meaning this is already beyond the call center operations, but more on higher value-added services such as software development, finance and accounting, digital analytics, and others. Some of the sectors that we are prioritizing also include infrastructure development, automotive, electronics, shipbuilding. Of course, I mentioned that Pascal is there. For infrastructure development, we have a major infrastructure game plan with our global growth program, where we are spending over $170 million US. So it opens a lot of opportunities in construction, or even the provision of goods, the raw materials, the services, and technologies. Particularly very important at this time is, of course, agribusiness and food processing. Apart from this, there are opportunities in startups, for instance. We have a very exciting and Philippine startup ecosystem valued at $378 billion US, with opportunities in fintech, enterprise solutions, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. There's a lot of scope for collaboration. Credit card penetration is only 1.9%.
Yeah.
Have account with financial institutions only 34% of the population. So there is definitely this a huge unbanked market that we have yet to tap. That automotive electronics, aerospace, because the Philippines is also a major supplier of products and services. But another sector that's really very interesting at this point in time is our pharmaceutical
All right.
industry. And the opportunities have been there already even before COVID 19,
Mm.
but more so at this time. Our data shows that we are import dependent.
Yeah.
So we are importing mostly our pharmaceutical products, and it's growing at 12% annually. So the
Sure.
growth in imports means that there is a growing demand for pharmaceutical products that are yet to be met by the existing 200 or so local manufacturers.
Mm.
So there is definitely huge local market potential in addition to the huge requirement of the government with the implementation of the universal healthcare law.
Sure.
So this was even before the pandemic. And in fact, the government released a circular
Yeah.
liberalizing the granting of incentives for the manufacture, importation, and distribution of these essential products that
Mm.
I have mentioned to combat the virus. So there's a long list of products covered under this circular, and I cannot mention all of them, but essentially, these are the items needed by our government right now, by our healthcare workers, the masks, the
Mhm.
protective equipment, the ventilators, and not only that, but also the raw materials. For instance,
Sure.
the zipper, the textile, the buttons needed to produce all of these products
Okay.
into finished goods.
And Alma, what about? I know that you had some upcoming trade delegations that were scheduled before all these things happened with the coronavirus. But that's a great example of how DTI, the activities that you put together, can really support opportunities and trade and investment between Australia and the Philippines. Can you shed a bit of light on one of those type of activities, those examples?
Yes, 2 months ago, we were really busy preparing for a business mission to the Philippines, and this is a Pacific business mission to the Philippines, and composed of businessmen from Australia, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, and the Pacific Island countries. We have no exact date yet, as
Yeah.
we're still assessing the situation. But this is really a good opportunity for Australian companies and other Pacific Island companies to really explore the opportunities in the Philippines.
Great. Well, as we've discussed before, Alma, we're actually putting on a whole range of interactive webinars with different markets around the world with Australian Trade Logistics Corporation. And one of those, we want to collaborate with you. I think it's on the 8th of May we penciled in for interactive webinar with yourself at DTI for Australian companies to actually learn a bit more in more detail around their opportunities, and also have a chance to do a Q&A session with yourself and your team to actually understand how they can to progress further with those opportunities with you. So yeah, definitely wanting to get that up and running very quickly and collaborate with you that in the future.
Sure, we can discuss sectoral
Yeah.
opportunities and we can go into details as to the specific opportunities in a particular sector of interest. And
Right.
I welcome, of course, the interaction with the businesses. And I'm very excited, to actually see, their interest there, hear about their interest in the Philippines, and in turn be able to also provide them with
Right.
the information needed to help them really move forward with their plans
Correct.
to expand or diversify in the Philippines.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Alma. It's been an absolute delight to have you on the show. And as I said, we are looking forward to having more interaction with yourself and your team, really uncovering some of those hidden opportunities for Australian companies to explore both in and out of the Philippines. So thanks again for joining me. Looking forward to speaking with you again very soon and having you on the Import Export show as a regular, hopefully, as well in the coming months. So thanks so much, Alma. All the best in Sydney. Stay safe. Have a fantastic Easter as well.